right, well, thanks for joining us today on the fundamentals of real estate. I'm your host here, Angela Dillmon at the Dillmon Group at Keller Williams Realty Chesterfield, and this is my wealth building partner,
Glen Calvin at Guild Mortgage, and we're very mental today, although I'm going to keep it fun. Very
this
mental.
is fun. How much, I got a question of the day.
Right.
My question of the day is, how much home can I afford in St. Louis?
That's a great question.
What is this St. Louis market like? What's it doing? I mean,
so it's
right?
it's a big market, and it's probably pretty diverse. There's probably a lot of different price points. But probably where I'd want to start was if I'm a first-time home buyer.
Yeah, all right. We'll start with first-time home buyer. Okay. So, Glenn, I need to know how much money I need to make to buy my first house. Yes. That's what I need to make. So let's just take a look at St. Louis here. Mm-hmm. Our average price point is around $335,000.
But that's not a first-time home buyer. First-time home buyer is going to be a little less.
Might be, but most first-time home buyers are probably buying in the twos, right? Got a two in front of it, right? And so what are the three numbers, the three most important numbers you look at when we're talking about how much I can afford?
So we're going to look at your income, your debts, and your monthly payment.
And your down payment, I guess, right?
Right,
down payment.
4 then.
Yeah, okay, 4.
4 numbers.
That's what we're going to look at.
And I always tell everybody, Angie, a loan officer's job is like a junior high school math problem. I mean, we take the income, we take your debts, there's a little formula, we can't go over this ratio. We spend a lot of time. So I've actually got some numbers that I prepared for us. At a 260, if a first-time home buyer was going to find a house for $260,000.
All right, let's just say I'm going to buy a house for $260,000.
Right.
First of all, we've learned that the average debt for a first-time home buyer, for not mortgage debt, but credit cards and student loans and car loans, is about $550 a month.
Right.
So, because you say one of my numbers is the debt. So first, I got to tell you what all those loans add up to.
We're going to get a credit report. You have to tell me.
Are you going to check my Netflix account?
No, it's just installment debt. So no gym memberships, not Netflix accounts, not pledge money to Channel 9, nothing like that.
let's just say I want to buy this house for $260,000. I have $550 a month in debt.
Right.
Today the rates are around
6.5 is what I use for the example, but there's going to be a disclaimer on the bottom of this podcast.
Oh, no.
And I got to be careful.
We're going to get mental. I was having so much fun.
The rates, they change, and it's going to be different. Today is July 29th, 2025. 6.5 would be a good rate on an FHA loan. That could change over time. And we're going to have to talk about the annual percentage rate, too, which is 7.337.
Oh, you're making my head hurt.
Yes.
You're going to make my head hurt. What is an APR?
So an APR came out years ago, and it's so that you can see a relationship between the interest rate that you got, that you're paying your loan back on time, and the amount of closing costs it took to get that rate. So the APR is going to take into account the first year's interest, then we're going to add in all the other closing costs, pretend that number is interest, and then see what kind of rate that would correlate to for the first year.
You're supposed to use it to compare a lender to a lender, but no one really does, and it's just a confusing number. So our interest rate is 6.5%. How much annual income do I need to buy that $260,000 house?
So a whole nother conversation that we're going to say for another day is the down payment, because there's down payment assistance programs, and this one is 3.5%, and the closing costs, the sellers can pay closing costs. But for this example, with $550 a month in debt, regular standard FHA loan, there's a bunch of different types of loans. I figured that's going to be on the high end about $62,000. So 60 to 62.
So if you're earning 60 to 62,000, you could probably, if your debt's around that $550 a month and your credit score's good, you could probably afford around a $260,000.
And that's household income. So if there's two of you that are going on the loan, that's two people.
So if you're making more, all the better. It's going to give you a lot better cushion. And for another day is what you can qualify for and what you think you can afford a month.
Yes, and the other thing too is comparing the FHA to the conventional loan. The FHA certainly has its advantages, especially at first-time home buyers. But if the debt-to-income ratios are a little bit lower, credit score is higher, you might want to consider a conventional loan. So
but what's this payment going to look like?
So principal interest on my example, on my example, the principal interest is $1,613.61.
Okay, but now we got to add to taxes and insurance.
Right. So taxes, I estimated the taxes on this one. I used around 1.25 at $271 a month, and then I estimated the insurance to be about $2,000.
So about 1.25% of the sale price
for the taxes.
We're estimating is real estate taxes in St. Louis area. Now in North County, it's like 1.7. South, it might be like 1.2, 1.25.
Franklin, Jefferson County are going to be a little bit lower too.
But it's around 1.25 if you're trying to estimate. So now this whole payment looks like what then?
We've got the FHA mortgage insurance too, and that's $114 a month. $2,165.61.
All right. So if you're paying somewhere around $2,100 to $2,200 a month in rent or close to that, you could be owning a home.
Heck yeah, and look at these other cities, where it's 5, 6. I think my friend Cindy and Cynthia out in LA, I think it's 800,000 or 900,000 out there for a first-time home buyer.
Yeah, there you go. So if you're earning 70 or 75,000, you're probably going to be a little bit more comfortable with that $2,200 a month
you're
payment.
You're a couple. The two incomes, that's not out of line at
Yeah.
all.
So if there's affordability and then there's qualifying, but
Exactly.
you only need about 60 to 62,000 in this scenario to qualify.
And I will tell you something. There's nothing that I enjoy more than getting with a first-time home buyer, a couple or a person, sitting down, and we're not going to do in this podcast, but really getting down in the weeds and talking about it, because this same house that we're talking about, 261, Angie, what was the sale price of that house 5 years ago?
Oh my gosh. So in Missouri, actually, let's see, since 2015, we've seen like an 84% rise. And so you've seen crazy. 84% appreciation. And in just the last 5 years, actually St. Louis is doing very, very well. Oof. So our last 5 years is sitting around like 60%. It's super high. And that house would be like 60% less.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like it's 140 to 175 crazy. Is now that 260 house.
Yeah, we went to this seminar last week. They talked about the millennials, these younger people, Gen Z or whatever. They're waiting, and while they're waiting, it's getting unaffordable for them. So.
Yeah,
you can't outrun affordability, and quit waiting.
No. So let's right, I have this 260 house. Yep. Where am I living?
That's a great question.
Right?
You would know that better than me. So.
Yeah, so where are we going to go? So let's just look at some average price points around St. Louis.
We're not going to Ladue.
Yeah, we're probably not going to Ladue. And what do we say the very most expensive place was?
Was it Country Life Acres?
Yes, Country Life Acres around Town and Country. Forbes says it's the most expensive place to live.
There's only 100 houses there, right?
It's got 100 residents, an average price point of like $1.5 million. Well, so we have to work up to our dream home.
That's not a first-time home buyer in Country Life Acres.
We have to work up to our dream home there.
Right.
Okay, so areas that you could go to. Valley Park in St. Louis County. Valley Park, very affordable. Its average price point is like $283. Yeah. So you're definitely going to be able to find something there. Area, yeah. If you go to Chesterfield, that's not going to be the case. So you're probably not going to go to Chesterfield.
I think even Baldwin and Manchester are pricing out.
Well, yeah, Baldwin and Manchester are starting to price out a little bit. Their average price points is definitely in the threes. So if you're a first-time home buyer in the threes, you could probably go there. Maryland Heights. Maryland Heights is very affordable. North County is very affordable. Creve Coeur is a little bit higher, but Maryland Heights right next to it. Bridgeton, that's a 265 average. You know what's really surprising too is South County. Yeah. Kind of a little gem there, really in the Oakville, Melville area. Yeah, the areas there is like a $209,000 average price point.
What about the city?
A lot of condos there too. So
we didn't talk about condos.
We can talk about that in a minute. City. If I'm in the city, even in the 63019 zip code, and that's kind of like around your Princeton Heights and your Lindenwood Park, you can still find around the 260 price point in there. But most of the parts of the city are going to be more like Dogtown, off of Highway 40 in Hampton, right, or further into the city. Tower Grove.
Can you get a 260 for Tower Grove?
You can get in there. Botanical Gardens area, average price point of $290. Huh. So it can't be found, right? If you're looking at a condo, condos are typically more affordable because you can buy those in the 100s, right, in the 200s. They do have the monthly fee attached, but you're buying so low, you could buy under 200 a condo.
So that's important. So when you look at the condominium, the payment's going to be lower, but the HOA fees and the insurance are going to be significantly higher.
Very, very. There's a lot of nice areas for first-time home buyers. Again, Missouri being number 11 in affordability, number 12 in opportunity here in Missouri. So if you're living in a state where you can't buy a first-time home buyer house for $260, come to Missouri. I'm just saying. Yeah. St. Louis has it all. Right?
It does.
All right. So if I'm a move-up buyer, I guess I want to know, in order to move up, what is how much do I need to earn? What does my annual income need to look like? And where am I going to find that house at?
Why don't we save that for another podcast?
Okay, it looks like we got to talk about that next week. We'll talk about your move up. maybe
More
get into
disclaimers.
dream home. More disclaimers, more APR. Remember your APR for next week and your head won't hurt so much.
All right.
That's all I'm saying. Hey, if you like this podcast, give us a share, give us a like, share it with your friends, follow us, and give us a call when you need help. We're here for you. Thanks.